set. Here we go. Same drill again. Can I have your name, your role on the film, name the title, and just remind us what it is in case people didn't attach the title to the subject matter.
I'm Finn. I directed and wrote Elsborn.
I'm Peter, and I directed Conscription.
Conscription, yeah.
I'm Hayden, and I produced Conscription.
I'm Fan Juan. I wrote, directed, produced Stars in Our Life, and acted in it.
My name's Liam. I was the producer of Cancelled, which, if you don't know, was the one about the 3 performances of the Women's Theatre.
And I'm David Gretel, and I'm just the subject of Octopus Party.
I'm the director of Octopus Party, so I need an interviewer to sit here and ask me how it came about. That's right. It's all before. So starting with you, tell me how the project came about.
To be honest, I just wanted to make a film with a training montage in. So
What?
A training montage.
You might just want to, can you just speak up a little bit so people at the back can hear?
A training montage, a boxing training montage. I wanted to make a film with one of them in, so that's what we did.
Big Rocky fan?
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about your passion for montage.
I don't really have one. I just kind of wanted to direct a film, and I wanted to do a training montage, and then we made a film about that. And it was pretty fun. It was a fun shoot, fun times.
How did you get such a good boxing world? I speak as somebody who has actually been in rings, fought thousands of rounds. How did you create the world of boxing so effectively? It's really well done.
We went to like 25 boxing gyms and got turned away from like 24 of them. And this guy Eric, who ran this boxing gym in Oldham, let us film there, and he helped choreograph the fight and stuff, and had a lot of influence in the film.
Like a technical consultant.
Yeah.
It shows. And all the props and everything, it all looks correct. Yeah.
He had a lot to say about that. If we had like certain gloves that were wrong, he would tell us and abuse
The
us.
gloves are wrong in the fight, they're 16-ounce gloves.
Yeah, he told us that. He gave us a lot of abuse about that.
I spotted that, I was like, no.
He said if you release that film, he was like, it's going to be an embarrassment for boxing.
Only for people like me, an actual amateur boxing association card at home, you know.
Yeah.
So everybody else will just go, it's a boxing match.
Everyone else loves
He
the
doesn't go
gold
down in the
gloves.
fourth.
Everyone else loves them.
Yeah. You're not worried there. It really creates the world very well. Well done.
Thanks.
We had to do it for uni, actually. We were given a brief of doing like a film based around current events, basically. And like
Okay, which uni is this?
MMU.
MMU. Yeah, okay.
That was our
There's a
kind of
Salford sort of mafia thing going on here. Don't worry about that. We welcome others, outsiders. We're not hostile. There's going to be more about it. Well done.
Yeah, well, remember, in the last 2 months when you've not been here, we've had quite a few MMU films here.
They've been taken over our territory.
Yes.
Don't worry, but we'll have a turf war after, and we'll sort it out. No.
Set up a boxing fight, set up a boxing match.
Okay. Rishi Sunak was Prime Minister at the time?
Yes.
Yes. So it's dating it.
It's already older.
Yeah.
We've already moved on to better times, maybe.
And do you feel nuclear dread? Is that what's going on here?
I think on a media level, definitely.
Yeah.
That's kind of pushed down. On a student level, maybe not nuclear dread, but you have a fear of people who have other incentives are going to send you off to war, which is terrifying.
Conscription.
Yeah, basically, exactly, yeah. I think it was kind of born from all of us being like young people going, well, like people we might not have voted in yet, and people who are going to do things that we have no say in for not our personal interest of any kind, and we're going to suffer for it. And it's happened like twice in our British history, twice in American history, more times in other culture histories. Like, it could easily happen again, right?
Yeah, it's quite a large staging of a film, especially for a student film.
We were lucky with, so prop-wise, we decorated lots of props and then we kind of sent them back. So that made everything basically free with like props. And then we were very lucky with actors who were all great, and music was great
Good
as well.
casting, yeah, good casting across the board. I mean, as a director, like anybody wants to send me their show reel, the door is wide open. I'm always looking for new cast. I don't know how you stand on that, but like
It's always nice. Well, it was kind of, we did like hold auditions, and we had like 2 days or 3 days of auditions, I think.
Yeah.
We had a couple.
And we went over like a few days, right? And we were very much like we were getting stuff in, we weren't sure, and then we had a few beginners like, oh shit, these guys are definitely. We can't. We almost emailed pretty much immediately to say like, yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
And then from there,
yeah.
we rewrote. So with the writer, Lai, who's not here, she rewrote some of the characters to make them fit the actors more. And we worked more to try and have kind of the actor and writer like development be a bit more natural, because we wanted it to feel more natural than just like them just being.
Well, it integrates the world very well. It's staged really nicely, and it's ambitious as well in its in the scenes and everything. So yeah, really well done. Really well done. Doing a good job at MMU. Can praise you. How do your film come on that?
I'm on conscription as well.
You're on
producer.
conscription. What was your role on it?
Producer.
Producer, yeah. So you helped put all these elements
Yeah,
together yourself.
well,
and you're a student as well on the
Yeah,
same
that's correct. On
course.
the same
That's how-
course,
that's how it came
same year. So lucky enough to have a fantastic director and a variety of fantastic people to work on it. You know, having such great actors within the department of MMU who were able to contribute their time and their effort and their skill for free, saying that we had no budget and it was everything pulled between us all collectively, and to create a whole different world in some sense.
Is this third year? Is this a final film?
No, so this is second year.
Second year film.
So yeah, it was a second year
Well done.
film, and it was done in about 10 weeks
Yeah.
between the beginning of about February through till May,
Right.
from sort of conception all the way through till post.
Nice job. Nice job. Well done. So your film, I feel that you're probably the prime mover on this one.
Looks like it.
I've got your credits written down here. So yeah. Director, writer, producer,
Actor.
star.
Yeah, so I made this film during COVID because everything was so restricted, and also I was very new in filmmaking world. I was doing directing, writing, producing, acting. Was very challenging.
What's your background though? If you
Actor.
you come at,
Yes,
Yeah.
mainly actor. And I started writing about 3 years ago during COVID,
okay.
and then got into filmmaking. Yeah, but still, my main focus is still acting.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's a very accomplished film that you've made.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have?
It's my very first narrative film I
Really?
made.
Okay.
It's my first time worked with a crew.
Right.
I was like,
Okay.
I don't know how to work with other people in filmmaking. But so this film was based on a real event. Sadly, I lost a friend.
Personally for you.
Yes. So sadly, I lost a friend who was a writer during COVID. We didn't keep in touch, so I hadn't talked to him for maybe about 5 years. Then suddenly, our mutual friend told us he passed away, and I kind of fell out with that mutual friend who told me the news. And then when I heard the sad news, I kind of realized it's in front of life and death. Nothing else really matters that much. So all we can do is try to remember those who are gone and cherish who are still around. So forgive, move on. I mean, we rekindle the relationship or friendship while we still can do that.
It had heart.
That's the
it had heart because of
inspiration.
that. Yeah. It's Liverpool location. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The estuary is with the lighthouse. Is
Yes,
that
that's
Runcorn
where.
and Widnes?
Yes,
Down there,
near
yeah.
Runcorn. It's
I
very
thought I
close
saw it
to
very
close to
nice.
where I live.
Very
Yeah.
nice locations.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
not just the overall location, but the individual,
Yeah.
the tree, the little bit
Yeah,
of
thank
beach.
you.
Really
Yeah,
nice.
with the
Added a lot.
outdoor shoot was challenging. And
Did
we
you
had
ADR the dialogue on the beach? It looked so close, Mike. It was so crisp.
I couldn't
You must know
remember.
as writer, producer, director, star. You must
I
know
couldn't
your
remember because
your
I
own
just saw-
dialogue in
I
the
just
studio.
saw my
You
work.
directing yourself.
I
You must
couldn't
remember that.
Um,
You don't remember?
No,
right,
we
I
were
won't
so
press you on it, I
yeah,
won't
we were
press
so
you.
lucky with the
Yeah.
weather. So outdoor shooting was it's like especially in the UK, weather can be very
Right.
unpredictable. And so in the script, I was so ambitious. I said I want a sunset. I love sunset. I want a sunset. So we planned like 2 weeks ahead. And then we were so lucky. We had a sunset that day.
This is unbelievable. When my students write sunset, sunrise, bright sunny day, I say, we're in Manchester, forget this stuff. You're not Terence Malick, you can't wait 3 weeks for weather. That's not going to happen.
I'm always
no
very
weather
lucky.
reports.
I'm always
you
very
wrote
lucky with
sunset and
weather.
waited.
Every time when I go on holiday, it's always sunny.
I've got it all wrong. I fucked up. Okay, I apologise. This is one of my students. It's the next one of mine. Liam, I apologise for the weather reports thing.
It's ruined a lot of my
drilling
shoots.
into you for years now. How did your film come about?
Yeah, so obviously it was made in association with the University of Salford when I was a student, and there was an opportunity to work with the Arden School of Theatre. We had this big pitch where a lot of the theatre students had written these performances and they wanted to collaborate with filmmakers. So yeah, the project was very, as wide as 3 writers on the credits list is because they all wrote their own pieces, and we formed the film around their performances and what they were going to be talking about. So it was heavily led by the DOP. I mean, as far as I was involved, it was mainly just locations. So it was very credit to Owen Devereux. He is my sole saviour on that film. He worked perfectly.
You went for a religious undertone with the imagery behind them all the way through. It seemed to be positive to me. Is it? Is that the idea? Tolerance through religion? Because we have the other side of that coin of intolerance through religion. So what were you aiming for there with the church setting?
Yeah, I mean, so that was mainly inspired by the performers. Some of them came from religious backgrounds, and I think they really wanted to pour out the kind of shame and guilt that they felt within their religious backgrounds. So obviously they come from very specific walks of life. One was non-binary, one's a mother, one had dealt with, I suppose you could say, sexual
Those were their real situations. They
real
were
life,
adapted into
real stories.
Right,
yeah, and obviously they all filled. I always say this is really strange, but when we found them, they seemed to be kind of a group of misfits, but they were together as being misfits, and they wanted to kind of fuel that into their creative work of they connected on not fitting into the rest of the theatre university, and I think that really drew us to them because we were there's a lot of real raw potential within their performances, and obviously the camera angles is very detached, I think, from the performance. It's very objective. It's very it kind of imitates how we worked with them. It was like they choreographed in front of us.
The dancers as well. They movement because they seem to
Yeah,
have.
I believe they were.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was as I say, they showed us what they'd choreographed, and then we went to the location with that, saw them do it, and we're like, okay, we're going to put the camera here. We're going to have you walk down here. Some of it, obviously, we choreographed like them walking down the aisle or crawling over the seats. That did nearly upset the parish man who kindly gave us the location, but he was quite for the cause. He liked the idea of what we were doing, and showing the duality of kind of the religious side.
Are they pleased with the result? Have you shown it to them?
Yeah, they were quite pleased
I
with
can
it,
see that.
They liked the alternative vibe to it, I think. And
Yeah,
they liked
you're working in their
pushing the
imagery,
boundaries.
and so it's very interesting for them to.
I think it
consider.
wasn't negative towards religion or anything in that matter. I think it's kind of just showing the duality of having that secular life, and then having that sort of religious confinement almost, I'd say. So
Yeah, really good locations once again. David.
So Jeremiah,
how did this film
how
come about?
how did your film
How
come
did you-
about?
I
Go on to switcheroo now.
let's talk about something serious, schizophrenia. No, let's not. Shut up, let him talk.
Go on.
All right. It
So
came about.
you came to me and said, "Do you want to film?"
That's what he says. I came to
Do you
him.
want to film?
Bullshit. Yeah, no, it's true. Actually, I actually saw this painting, Otto's Party, which cut off in the middle for the key
Which
line.
you named Otto's Party.
I gave it a name. That's right. Yeah, he's
was
making
on
a
the
series
title.
of paintings called Parties, and I thought I loved the ambiguity of this guy at this fancy dress party in 1933. Is he seriously doing a Nazi salute, and then somebody makes a sound or jokes and they all laugh? Or is he taking the mickey? I lean towards he's taking the mickey. And so do you.
Yeah.
We hope for that, right? But also, it reminds me a lot of Carpe Diem in Dead Poets Society. Just looking at those people having that great time in 1933, I just think,
Do they know what's to come?
oh,
Have they any idea?
whether you have any feel for them or not, they're about to live 10 horrific years. They're going to lose dozens of loved ones. They're going to be dead. Many of them will be dead in 10 years. and they're at this fancy dress party, and they're sort of unknowing, and because they're innocent in that sense to what's going on. And I think Otto is taking the mickey. I think he is. We don't know, but I think he is. I'm giggling already. So that's what really draws me into them.
How important was the soundtrack to this short film in bringing out this theme, you know?
Right, so this is Morgan on the front row here. And I'll tell you the brief that I gave to Morgan from this. Morgan is a sound designer and a track layer professionally all the time. And I gave him the brief. What I did was I sent him the rough cut, and I said, here it is. And here are the little atmosses that I recorded in the studio, which are just atmosses of the sounds of the outside and whatever. And he put all of that soundtrack on it. And did I give you some changes? I think there were a couple of little tweaks or something.
Yeah, I think it was like paintbrush 10.
Paintbrush 10 down. Yeah, minus 2 dBs. Yeah, there were notes like that. Not like, and he came up with all that soundscape of Sieg Heils and marching and Stuka dive bombers and everything. And it just, what do you think of it, David?
Well, I mean, the thing that stunned me is, you know, I've been a professional artist for 40 years, and I've spent my entire life in rooms like that, making paintings one after another. And the meaning of the paintings is just in my head, you know. Before I start the painting, I've got an idea what kind of image I'm looking for to work with, what kind of meaning I'm pursuing. While I'm working on the painting, it's emerging more vividly. And then afterwards, I can sit there, if it's worked, and I can think, oh, well, you know, it does embody some kind of meaning. But it's always in my head. So to see the work through other creatives' eyes and ears and through another medium has been a complete revelation. I've got to be absolutely honest with you. You know, it's shown me what the viewer must think when they see the work. Hopefully, you know, if they've received it in the right spirit. You brought that out and made that audible. So I'm really indebted to you guys. But there's something I wanted to ask all the filmmakers actually, because when you came to the studio, you said, just put your apron on. And I said, well, why? It's the most tedious thing. I do it 15 times a day, you know, 6 days a week. And he said, just do it. Don't ask why, just do it. So he shot me putting my apron on, which I do every morning. Where does a filmmaker's instinct for the significance of ordinary gestures come from? Where does that instinct, because you're all brilliant at incorporating really ordinary, small, mundane gestures.
I mean, this goes back to Earl's Boy, doesn't it? Because you've got the absolute natural movement of somebody who does it every day, all day.
Yeah, I mean, the actor we got was a boxer as well, which is quite helpful.
Yeah.
So he knew all the little things he needs to do, like the tying of the hand stuff.
Lacing up.
Yeah.
The raps. Yeah.
But does it come from observing people around you all the time, from being a kid, or does it come from watching other movies?
I think it's a bit of both, probably.
A bit of both. You know?
I think it's observation, but watching films and like what's going to be interesting on screen and stuff.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Right. Well, anyway, you've been very patient. Questions from the audience. There's a huge array of very different films here. Who wants to know what?
How easy was it to get to church? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Was it like...
That was horrendous to get a church. It was the worst part of the production. There was moments where I thought I couldn't even get a church. But I ended up... I emailed every single church in the Salford area, and none of them responded, or they read the proposed treatment and they were like, that's too much for us. It just ended up that there was a friend that I had who worked, they were on our, I can't remember what film it was that they made, but they were on our course, and it was in Prestwich, and they said, oh, I heard you're looking for a church. Here's this really lovely one. The guy that runs it is really lovely. And we just came to it. I was really honest. Obviously, I didn't want to sell them the wrong idea.
I know that. I know that film. I know that film as well. I supervised that as well. Yeah.
But,
the guy on the run. He goes into the church for protection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I thought I recognised it.
Yeah, but apparently a lot of ITV productions have been done there, like Coronation Street. So they're very friendly to filmmakers. If anyone wants to church, feel free to hit me up and I'll give you a...
And also, Salford Cathedral. extremely helpful with their church. They allow any crew to film in there, whether it's religious or not. They don't care. They'll help you out. I've heard those students from there as well. Yeah. Yes. Wow, you're a tough audience. Come on, you must have wondered about it. Yes.
For Earl's Boy, first of all, I thought it was very beautifully colour graded. I also thought it was very well edited. I was just wondering, sort of, those creative processes or decisions you made to do with the edit, how much was that done in pre-production, or how many of those decisions were made in post-production? Like how much was pre-planned, sort of?
I think, like I said before, like the montage was obviously pre-planned. But most of the other stuff just came after, to be honest. Like, we knew the structure of the film, but certain things, like when they say Earl's Boy, and then you have the 3 shots of like him boxing, him in the pub and stuff like that came after. But, yeah.
Yes.
Well, then, how hard is it to direct and act at the same time? How is it even done?
It was very hard, and especially I was producing as well. I found producing because you had to take care of everyone. And during COVID, everything was so restricted, and also this one was self-funded. So, so I had to make sure everyone was looked after, and that was quite, took me a lot of energy, and especially one scene, a scene I was like crying just very quietly, because I just really need focus, just have need to have a moment for myself. Then at one point, normally I'm very good at emotional scenes. I'm very good at crying, but that day I just couldn't. I couldn't reach that point. So I was so frustrated, and I just I said to everyone, I'm really, really sorry. Would you mind just to go out and just give me space? And the DP actually, he is very experienced director, and he really helped me. And so it's only him and me in the room, and he just talked me through, say, oh yeah, and he talked to me, say, just tell me like a really sad story, or something like that really break your heart. So we just had a little chat, and the camera. So he put a camera on, then I just started crying. So that's how we got that shot. And I was like, oh my God, I was so frustrated. And the directing was hard as well, because I wasn't experienced director at all. I'm still not experienced. So I didn't know how to do the shot list or storyboard.
No.
I don't know the
Well, in terms
logistics.
of directing yourself, like you do the performance, then would you go around and look at the monitor each
Yeah.
time, or did you review it like when you felt you got it, or how did you direct yourself?
So so when the way we did it is I act, then the DP, I think because he is a director as well, so he would play back.
So he was like a director to you in those moments. So
Yes.
he would review it to you, say, I think you should do it again. Are you giving him a steer for you be the sort of in loco director just for that time?
So we kind of the scene with me and another actor. We before we shot the scene, we actually had rehearsals on the spot. So we had blocking and also I had Zoom rehearsals with the actor several times before we actually shoot the scene, so to make sure the acting was solid enough. Before
Did you record those so you could review your
Yes,
performance on
yeah.
them?
So I
you
gave
could see the
yeah,
to and fro.
yeah. So I
Okay,
gave
okay.
her notes, and also for myself. So it's hard to judge yourself when you act and direct, and of course it's like you just have to be open to other people's advice as well. And so we after we shot the scene, we look back And I said, okay. And also, you can be quite critical of yourself. Look at yourself. Yeah. So yeah, we look back, make sure all the shot was good. Yeah.
Very good.
Amazing,
Very
well
good.
done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Question. Yes. Yes, at the back.
Especially for David, is most of your art in the style of, is it about people in odd contexts of history? And if so, how much thought goes into your perception of how they are experiencing that moment when making the art, if that makes sense?
Yeah, they're all kind of based on empathy, really. I'm over empathetic for some reason. So I go to flea markets around Europe, I get these little black and white printed snapshots, which a lot of people here may never have seen, but I pick them up really cheap. They're €1 each or a photo album, and I'm looking for individuals in historical context. So at times of international conflict or, the threat of conflict, and I bring them back to the studio and I'll live with them for a few months or even years, and then gradually they emerge in some kind of, meaningful light, and I start working on them. So it could be a whole album's worth, or it could just be an individual snapshot. But I'm going, I suppose really I'm taking a bit of a risk, because I'm projecting a certain amount of my feeling into these people's lives, But my urge, my motivation is to bring them back into the conversation of the present day, Bring these people from the past back into the current political context, to see if there's any echoes or relevance.
Yeah. Yes.
I've got a question about the artistry in the agenda itself for today. Did you deliberately pick, we've got Conscription, which is talking about the future of warfare, and the discussion around Otto's party around, does he know what is coming next? Whereas we have the same kind of view of what the future could look like in Conscription. The two things are kind of somewhat similar in an eerie kind of way. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, or I'm just imagining, are we here going, Heil Hitler before something bad happens in a Conscription perspective?
And Conscription.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, John would have to answer that. I don't know. I didn't pick. I put my film forward to be played.
There seems to be quite a lot of films that we get that have certain echoes and traits and sort of things that are constant on people's minds. Whether a couple of years ago, there's lots of films about COVID, obviously, lots of films about dementia, lots of films about there's waves of films. So I think there's something in the collective unconsciousness that people are sending. And there was a little bit of a thought about putting things together to sort of try and make a sense of more resonance or more impact. But if that answers the question.
Yeah. There's a zeitgeist. There is a zeitgeist. There are waves of consciousness. I asked if you have nuclear dread as young folks, because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
Nuclear dread was a really present. We had leaflets about how to survive a nuclear war. Put all these doors together, stack up the baked beans, get in there, put some water in it. We were told that, and we lived with this terrible fear. And it went away. It went away for a long time.
The Conservative minister last year said, just before that was the last thing he said when he was going out of office in Wales. He said, make sure everyone picks up, fill your cupboards full of tinned meat and things, all these things. And and everyone, some people debated on Radio 5, is he being serious? And
I was living in fear of being drafted for the Falklands War. And the rumour was that they printed the draft cards, and they were in warehouses around the country and about to be issued. And I was in the last year of university, 20 years old, 21, absolutely terrified. Everyone I knew was absolutely bricking it. And I was thinking, I haven't got 20/20 vision, maybe I'll get off, I won't be drafted.
We'll have to go to Canada.
Die in the film, And then after sort of cycles of this being, made to feel this stark terror by government panic campaigns, you start to think, oh, fuck this, I'm not going to, why? I mean, there's one at the moment, we've got to fear Russia. We've been fearing Russia since Stalin. It's kind of, just get on with your lives, really. It's deliberately played up, isn't it, to sell papers, to get you to listen to the Today programme on the radio, whatever you listen to.
We turn it into creativity. We turn it into films and paintings, don't we? I mean, it's
scaremongering,
Yeah, but it produces
but we make
work
stuff
for
out
us,
of it,
right?
yeah.
That's what we do with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then there's resonance between one and another.
Yeah.
It's good for us. It's good for the soul. There's leopard skin boots, either end of this row. It's extraordinary. And then you're matching it there with your jacket. That's a bit like Troy.
We're all
Oh, don't know.
skint.
Shoulders
Why are we
back,
all
you'll
skint?
smash it. Right. So, anybody else? A question? Yes.
Which other films influenced Conscription? Just because the guitar scene was really like 28 Days Later, just the way it looks and just how...
It was, the guitar scene was based off, have you seen Deer Hunter?
No.
There's a scene in Deer Hunter where he plays the piano. So it was similar to that. And then the final shot was based off the German one that just came out a couple of years ago, won an Oscar.
Zone of interest.
Fire on the Western Front.
Oh, quite nice.
It was that one. Threads was a big inspiration, and the American one as well, which was The Day After, I think. Those are the main ones. And then a couple of other shots around the films, but those are the main inspirations.
Yeah, good inspiration.
Really professional.
Yeah. Yes, John.
Time.
Time.
Well, sorry to
Time
interrupt
what?
you, but
Time.
10 minutes and the bar closes. So people need to...
Call
I know
to
that.
action.
It is.
Yeah. So I don't. Everybody, drop everything. No, hold on. Okay, so one final question. Do you have a final question?
No time for more questions.
No. We don't. No, he doesn't want it. No.
You can ask them in the bar if you've got
Yes,
more
that's right.
questions.
We're here to network.
Come and talk.
We're here to network. We're here to